William Bridges Adams, in his Roads and Rails and Their Sequences, Physical and Moral, opens chapter 14 about military use of railroads as an element of national defense, stating that railways are the most important in bringing troops up. There is much written about how the railroads were used as a strategic element during the American Civil War. Dr. Christopher R. Gable, in Railroad Generalship, Foundations of Civil War Strategy, outlines the various elements which marked the railroads as a superior form of travel to those already established. He noted that the invention of steam-powered rail increased logistical output by a factor of 10 according to his calculations. At the beginning of the 20th century, there was great interest and significant research about transportation, specifically the railroad networks. Many articles and books written by Edwin Pratt and Eva Swantner cover the details of the railroad's position of importance during the American Civil War. Seymour Dunbar's excellent and comprehensive tome, History of Travel in America, also identifies the railroad as a vital contributor of the North's victory over the South. Yet even as the field of military history continues to develop a greater understanding of the full capability of these rails, there are gaps in the research. Modern investigators into the railroad and its impact during the Civil War period and also the decades surrounding the Civil War have been leaning more and more into the nuances of the subject. Jeremy Attack addresses how the coming of the railroads to certain areas, and really mainly the greater part of the Midwest, expanded prosperity to the communities that they touched, and how banking and agriculture were deeply impacted by the railway systems. The research, while answering some questions, continues to simply develop more questions. Particularly of interest to myself is what seems to be missing in the research. The development of an in-depth review of the transportation networks, both the railroad systems and the established waterways and newly formed canal systems in Ohio, and how these influenced the volunteer rates and the military service rates across counties in Ohio. Drawing comparisons between communities with many transportation access points and those with fewer options, while at the same time comparing their military service rates, will create a framework from which we can draw conclusions about how those transportation networks greatly impacted the rate of service. Allen County, Ohio, in 1860 had a population of 19,185. They had just under 2,000 men serve in the Union Army, which was about a 10.4% of the total population. Allen County had 5 lines within the county and had at least one major hub for transportation in Lima. Cuyahoga County in Ohio had a population of 78,061 and sent a record-setting 10,000 plus soldiers to the Union cause. That was nearly 13% of the total population. Cuyahoga also had an astonishing 22 railroad lines in the county. It is worth noting that Cuyahoga had lines reaching out into the countryside and the more rural areas. Was this a contributing factor to the higher rate of service? Only a closer look at a broader range of information will answer that question. My name is Amber Keener, and I hope that you have enjoyed this short video and will come along as we find the answer to these questions. Thank you.